It is the big year of 2025, and I am playing one of the most fun games I've played of my entire life, Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Find him and close shut the jaws of Oblivion.
Sitting here thinking to yourself, that game came out in 2005. What are you talking about? Well, you're living under a rock, my friend, because we have Oblivion Remastered. And I want to start off by saying Oblivion Remastered has genuinely been one of the most fun games I have played so far this year, and within a really long time. It's starting to cause a question to arise in my head. Did we peak? Did video games really stop getting better? Or is it my stupid old brain that just wants it to be how it was when I was a kid? I think that neither of those are necessarily true. I do think the first one has a little bit of truth to it though. We are trying so desperately to replicate the feelings we had as a kid in new games and failing. What seems to be the easiest way is to just go back to the old games. So does that mean we're done? Are video games as a whole no longer able to reach creative peaks that are gonna impress us, keep us interested like we were as kids? Well, like, obviously not. There are still great games coming out. I don't know about you all, but new games are still coming out that amaze me to this day. Elden Ring is my favorite game of all time, and it came out in the past few years. There are also great new games coming out. I mean, Space Marine 2, it was a little short, but I loved it. The new RuneScape game, it has a lot of problems, but I'm so excited to see where it expands. And I'm sure there's tons of new games that you are all excited about. I'm also excited for GTA 6 that's coming out this year. No, we're not talking about GTA 6 today though. Regardless, it's still hard to get over the fact that we're playing the same old games over and over and over. I mean, we have CS2, the second CSGO, that is the same game you were playing forever with a little polish, or the umpteenth Call of Duty, or the people who are still playing League of Legends to this day, or the people like me who are playing Bloodborne and Oblivion Remastered in 2025, and I was just playing Skyrim in 2025, and I play GTA 5 still, and I play all these old games, and I'm sure there are many of you out there who still play the same old games you've played forever. Hell, I still play Generation 3 of Pokemon, the very first video game I ever played. So it's hard to not have a bias in this conversation because everything I'm talking about is things I've loved since I was a kid. So of course, I'm gonna be like, well, it's not just cause it's not just nostalgia, bro. I obviously, like, it's great. I think it's also impossible to argue against the impact of stuff like Oblivion Remastered coming out. I mean, I genuinely mean this. I am having so much fun playing this game, and me, and I'm sure thousands of other people online are having fun playing this game. Hell, every time I post something on my social media about Oblivion, I get thousands of comments from people just as excited as I am to play this game. And some people, they're playing it for the first time ever. Like, that is a huge point. I think Oblivion Remastered is something that we can really look at because there are thousands of people playing this game for the first time ever. They never played Oblivion back in the day. Hell, I'm gonna admit something here. I barely played Oblivion back in the day. I played it a little bit, but I got introduced to Elder Scrolls through Skyrim. And then I went back and played a little bit of Oblivion and a little bit of Morrowind, and I played a ton of Elder Scrolls Online. Even to me, it wasn't my childhood, Skyrim was. I played Skyrim in middle school for the first time ever, and that was my introduction to Bethesda games as a whole. Even myself is a contradictory to the bias. Sure, I love Bethesda games and the Elder Scrolls ones specifically, but Oblivion is not nostalgia to me. It is almost completely new. There are so many quests that I never even touched. So are game studios uninspired, or are we just bored? I think it's both. And that's not saying that there are no studios out there making great games, because there are. Like many things in life, it is all a cycle. We are going to want to play new games, and then we are going to get bored of them, and then we're going to play more new games, and then we're going to get bored of those, so we're going to go back to what we're comfortable with, and then we're going to get bored of that again, and we're going to go to new games again, and it's going to keep going over and over and over. And that's just like everything. You get one flavor of coffee every day, you're going to get bored, you get the other one, but you still like the other flavor of coffee. This might just be me. I'm literally talking about myself right now. If nobody else has this feeling, then make your own YouTube video. This is mine. Video games in nature are such a timeless concept. We have things like speedrunners, fighting game tournaments that have decades old games that still get ran. I mean, look at Super Smash Bros. Melee.
I swear. Oh my. Oh no!
One of my favorite games of all time, has one of the most grassroots deep communities you'll ever see in a video game, and it's 20 years old. And Super Smash Bros. Is a really complex topic, but while we're talking about that, it's a really good example because you can go ahead and see that there is new games to this day. I mean, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is its own competitive scene, but there are some people who still go back to Melee. It's almost as if there's a group of people who are just so tired of all the changes to formulas that felt right that they just want to stay with the old games. I think Ultimate and Melee are two separate games with their own communities that don't interact very nicely. Not to say that it's like the most toxic thing in the world, but they're not the same groups of people. That's all I'm gonna say. And I think it's just such a perfect example of there are always gonna be people who want the old stuff. Maybe it's happening nowadays in game studios, but for a while they were trying to push new games, big new ideas that just didn't seem to work. And some of it out of greed when we have the whole Fortnite renaissance of battle passes that definitely changed the name of games for a while and has left us scarred to this day. But I think that a big part of it is games studios realizing that there was great things in old games. I mean, there's always that viral clip of the World of Warcraft developers saying, you don't like you I'll just play it because I don't remember what he says.
Have you ever thought about adding servers for previous expansions as they were then?
No. And by the way, you don't want to do that either. Remember when you had to like spam cities and say need a tank, need a tank, need a tank during the Burning Crusade days? You don't remember that because now you just push a button that says go to the dungeon. You don't want to do that.
That is exactly the point, is these developers for so long thought that they knew what was best and everything that they did to change gaming was like a blessing. But then they go back to World of Warcraft Classic and it is one of the most popular games ever when it dropped. And I mean, I never even played WoW as a kid and I played Classic because that's how big of a game it was. And it didn't matter about nostalgia. It didn't matter that it was old. The game was just fun. So what's the point of this video? You may be asking yourself. I am too. I think that we've had a bit of a renaissance with gaming where we went through a very, very dark period. Fortnite, battle passes, all this unimaginative games. I mean, Cyberpunk came out and I never have heard more people complain about a game that they were excited for in my life. Like, it was a bad time for games, but even Cyberpunk got better. And it feels like we are realizing that no, games may not have been better back then, but they were doing something right. And that's what matters. You go back and play Donkey Kong Country, I don't care who you are, it's probably still a good time unless you hate fun. You go back and you play Legend of Zelda for the first time, you will find some whimsy in that game and some great things. But there's also going to be a ton of parts of those games that suck. I'm sitting here and saying old games are great, but how many quality of life improvements have happened to games nowadays as we've gotten older? Monster Hunter is a game that I never could have played. It was too tedious. I've heard so many horror stories about the old games about running for 10 minutes one way, 12 minutes back, getting one item to go here, to go there, and it's just a slog fest. And nowadays it's all streamlined, and Monster Hunter Wilds is now such a fun game. I had so much fun playing it. But go back even to Monster Hunter World and it was just like a little too slow for me. I really liked the idea of the game, but just chasing the monsters around was too slow to me. And I couldn't get into it and it was just not for me. But they perfected that formula, took what the people who really love the game, took what they love about it and then made it amazing, and then got rid of some of the crap that nobody needs, the needless running around that just adds playtime for no reason, and more people can enjoy the game. I think that is really where we need to go with gaming nowadays, is understand that games were doing it right back then, but not perfect. That we don't need to just change what we were doing for so long. And I'm saying like I'm a game developer. I don't know what I'm doing. Understanding that people liked what was going on, but maybe just keep our lives a little simpler. Don't make us have to take 18 hours to get one item just cause it feels like you need to. But this video has been all over the place. I think video games are something that I've always gone back to. And lately, it's just been really weird that I'm playing a bunch of remasters or all the games that I just played growing up. But I don't want that to turn into games were better now back then, but it kind of was. So let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments if you think we're washed as a community and gaming is ruined, or do you think I'm just complaining for nothing, or that people complain for nothing? and we're fine, and gaming as a whole is fine, and it always has been. I really want to know what everybody thinks about this. I think there are more pressing topics, obviously, in the world if we got down to it, but I've never once talked about important things on this channel, and I'm not going to start now. If you like the video, leave a like, leave a comment down below, like I said, and subscribe for more stuff like this. I hope to make more videos soon, but I have a big boy job, so sometimes I get busy. Catch y'all next time. Bye.